sulfuric acid, a smidge of cobalt, a hint of hydrogen peroxide, superheated to 500 Kelvin, and... ta-da!
When muscle failed, they turned to their magic. 100 nations descend upon us. The armies of all Asia, funneled into this narrow corridor, and numbers count for nothing.
I can teach you how to bewitch the mind and ensnare the senses. I can tell you how to bottle fame, brew glory, and even put a stopper in death.
It doesn't matter if you are a kindly herbalist administering soothing tonics and tinctures, or a budding mad scientist hell-bent on cooking up all kinds of trouble. Alchemy is a valuable asset to any adventuring company, and that's why I'm counting down my top 5 uses for alchemy in Pathfinder. Number 5, Alchemic Tools. These are situational but still handy items that can give you an alchemic edge in a pinch. First, we have Armor Ointment. This reduces your armor check penalty by 1. The craft DC is 15, and the price is 10 gold. Next, Defoliant. This kills light and medium vegetation within 1 hour. Large trees take 2 hours. Defoliant can be used as a splash weapon versus plant creatures, dealing 1d6 points of damage, plus 1 strength damage and 1 con damage. A DC 20 fort save negates the strength and constitution damage. The craft DC for Defoliant is a DC 25, and it will cost you 10 gold. Foaming Powder. Foaming Powder creates a 50-foot cube of green foam, and let's face it, who doesn't need that? When exposed to water, the foam fills up 50 cubic feet, and then after 1 hour hardens into a mass that floats. This is if you throw it into like the ocean or something, and it has the density of honeycomb. Crafting Foaming Powder is a DC 20, and will cost you 3 gold and 3 silver. Impact Foam. When thrown or dumped on the ground, it creates a filmy mass. A falling target that hits this mass ignores the first 1d6 of falling damage, and converts the second d6 into non-lethal. Crafting Impact Foam is a DC 20 and will cost you 8 gold and 3 silver. Rusting Powder. You can corrode iron and similar metals. Rusting Powder deals 5 points of damage to an object's HP, and has a 75% chance to destroy metal traps. In addition, you can use Rusting Powder to give yourself a +5 alchemic bonus in disable device checks. This is used on metal locks and traps. Crafting Rusting Powder is a DC 30, and will cost you 20 gold. Next, we have the ever-useful Smoke Pellets. They fill a 5-foot square with smoke for 1 round. Smoke Pellets are a DC 20 to craft, and will cost you 8 gold and 3 silver. They're similar to Smoke Sticks. This fills a 10-foot cube with smoke for 1 minute. It is a DC 20 to craft a smoke stick, and will cost you 6 gold, 6 silver. Next, Silence Dust. This dust creates a cloud when thrown as a splash weapon. Creatures outside of the cloud take a -10 to hear sounds made inside the cloud. Alternatively, Silence Dust can be put on the feet to give a +5 bonus to move silently checks. This effect will last for 1 minute. Crafting Silence Dust is a DC 20 and will cost 20 gold. Finally, we have Insight Leaves. Basically, you drink this stuff as a tea before going to bed, then after an 8-hour rest, you can re-roll 1 failed knowledge check with a +2 alchemical bonus. Crafting Insight Leaves is a DC 25, and will cost you 16 gold, 6 silver. The number 4 use for alchemy is crafting alchemic remedies. Essentially, alchemic remedies are there to make things easier on you, pump you up, or remove a status effect. Some of the alchemic remedies you can craft are Antiplague. This gives you a +5 alchemy bonus against disease fortitude saves for the next hour. Always have some of this stuff if you're going into a sewer. Crafting Antiplague is a DC 25, and it will cost 16 gold, 6 silver. Next, Antitoxin. Similar to Antiplague, it gives you a +5 alchemical bonus on saves versus poison for the next hour. Crafting Antitoxin is a DC 25 and costs 16 gold, 6 silver. Next, Soothe Syrup. This gives you a +5 alchemical bonus on saves against any condition that would make you sickened or nauseated, which are both kind of nasty. It's Pepto-Bismol, okay? Anyway, Soothe Syrup is a DC 15 to craft, 8 gold, and 3 silver to make. Next up, the delicious-sounding troll oil. Yes, you have to drink it. But if you do, you automatically stabilize when reduced to 0 hit points. And you have a 50% chance each round to end bleeding damage. Troll oil lasts for 1 hour. It is a DC 30 to craft and will cost 16 gold, 6 silver. Another very useful thing to have for the sewers is vermin repellent. Vermin swarms must make a DC 15 fort save to enter your square. Unfortunately, it doesn't work on vermin small size or larger. Vermin repellent will last for 4 hours. And is a DC 20 to craft and will cost 1 gold, 6 silver. If you are interested in brewing, think about making Ice Cap Ale. This gives you a +2 alchemical bonus to strength and constitution for 1 minute, and a +4 on your saves against fear and compulsion. However, for 1 hour afterward, you take a -4 on dex and strength skill checks, and are fatigued. Also, you will lose all memory of the past 1d4 minutes, which might actually be a benefit in and of itself. Crafting Ice Cap Ale is a DC 20 and will cost you 13 gold, 3 silver. Next, Blood Boiling Pill. This gives you a +2 alchemic bonus to your initiative checks and saves versus cold weather. However, if you take bleeding damage, you take damage and a half. Blood boiling pills last for 8 hours. Craft DC is 25 and will cost you 25 gold. Finally, we have some delicious tinctures. Let's start with the Alluring Filter. This gives you a +2 alchemical bonus on diplomacy checks. Also, if you fail a diplomacy check by 5 or more, the target's attitude does not worsen toward you. You will, however, take a -2 on intelligence-based skill checks. And you're easier to track by creatures with Descent ability. This will last for 1 hour. And it's really great for party face characters that aren't expected to know anything. Alluring Filter is a DC 20 to craft and will cost 50 gold. Next is the Mage's Assistant. This gives you a +5 alchemical bonus on concentration checks. But you take a -2 penalty on Sense Motive and Perception. This will last for 1 hour. DC 20 craft check, and it will cost you 100 gold. Next, Sorcerer's Spirits. Treat your caster level as 2 higher for spell duration and range, but take a -1 on Fortitude and Reflex saves. If you fail a Fortitude or Reflex save, you're nauseated for 1 round. The duration of Sorcerer's Spirits is 1 hour. The craft DC is 30 and will cost you 100 gold. Next, we have the Thinker's Tipple. This gives you a +2 on knowledge checks, and you can attempt untrained knowledge checks if the DC is 15 or lower. However, you will take a -4 on fort saves for the same duration. The DC to craft the Thinker's Tipple is a DC 25, and it will cost you 100 gold. This tincture lasts for 1 hour. Finally, we have the Mighty Titan's Tonic. This gives you a +1 to your natural armor and a +2 on strength-based skill checks. However, your movement is slowed by 5 feet, and you take a -4 penalty on reflex saves for 1 hour. Craft DC is 25, and it will cost you 66 gold and 6 silver. The number 3 use for Alchemy and Pathfinder are as alchemic power components. Essentially, this is a way to alchemically augment spells if you're a spellcaster. To do this, you need to use alchemic components as an additional material component, or as an additional focus. Material components are consumed when the spell is cast. Focus components are not. The first material component is Brain Mold Spores. Spells of the Charm or Compulsion school are treated as one caster level higher for duration. One dose of these spores will cost you 5 gold. Next, we have Brimstone. Spells with the acid descriptor deal +1 acid damage. 2 doses of Brimstone cost 1 gold. Next, we have Gold. Spells of the Healing School heal +1 more HP if they heal HP. 1 dose of gold will cost you 5 gold. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Next, Magnesium. Spells of the Transmutation School are 1 caster level higher for determining duration. 2 doses of Magnesium will cost you 2 gold. Morning Dew. Spells of the Divination School are 1 caster level higher for all effects. 5 doses of Morning Dew, 5 gold. Here's a fun one, Black Powder. Spells that deal energy damage deal an additional point of damage. 1 dose of Black Powder will cost 10 gold. One of the most useful alchemic power components is Salt. Spells of the Necromancy School are +1 caster level for the purpose of effect. 20 doses of Salt is 10 gold. Saltpeter. Spells with the Fire descriptor deal +1 fire damage. 1 dose, 1 gold. Yuryu. Spells with the Cold descriptor are +1 caster level for all effects. 4 doses, 2 gold. That covers the material components. Now let's talk about those focus components. An acid flask. If you use an acid flask as a focus for the spell Acid Splash, it deals +1 acid damage. If you use liquid ice as a focus for the spell Ray of Frost, it deals +1 cold damage. And if you use Alchemist Fire as a focus for the spell Scorching Ray, you get a +1 to hit. Personally, I think that one is the most useful. The other two are just kinda neat. Number 2 on my list is Alchemic Weapons. Starting with the classic Acid Flask. This is a thrown weapon touch attack that deals 1d6 acid damage. Every creature within 5 feet takes 1 point of splash damage. To craft an acid flask is a DC 15 and will cost 3 gold, 3 silver. Next we have Alchemist Fire. This is a thrown weapon touch attack that deals 1d6 points of fire damage and 1 point of fire damage to every creature within 5 feet. Crafting Alchemist Fire is a DC 20 and will cost you 6 gold and 6 silver. Next, we have Bottled Lightning. This is a ranged touch attack that deals 1d8 electric damage. Every creature between you and the target, including the target, takes 1 point of sonic damage. The craft DC for Bottled Lightning is 25 and will cost you 13 gold, 3 silver. Next up, Fuse Grenades. This is a thrown weapon. Lighting the fuse is a move action and it explodes, dealing 2d6 bludgeoning damage and 1d6 fire damage in a 10-foot radius. Reflex save DC 15 halves that damage. It explodes after 1d3 rounds. DC to craft a fuse grenade is a DC 25, and it will cost 33 gold, 3 silver. A nasty little item is a Gassed Wretch Flask. This is a thrown weapon touch attack. The target is nauseated for 1 round and sickened for 3 rounds. Creatures within 5 feet are sickened for 1 round. DC 12 Fortitude save negates the sickened but not the nauseated. This is a poison effect. Crafting a Wretch Flask is a DC 20 and will cost 16 gold, 6 silver. Next we have a neat one, the Liquid Blade. This is an easy to conceal item, great for characters like assassins and rogues, who can quickly transform this humble capsule into a crystal blade as a move action. This functions as a medium short sword, which deal 1d6 damage. The blade lasts for 10 minutes before dissolving. You can add a dose of poison to the blade, by the way, and that means when the blade is formed, it has 1 application of poison. The DC for a liquid blade is a 15, and will cost you 13 gold, 3 silver. price of poison not included. Next, liquid ice. This one has some non-combat uses. It can be thrown as a splash weapon, or freeze a liquid, or create a thin sheet of ice over an object. And they're great for making slippery terrain. Liquid ice deals 1d6 cold damage. Creatures within 5 feet take 1 point of cold damage. Crafting liquid ice is a DC 25 and will cost 13 gold, 3 silver. Pellet grenades. They're really similar to fuse grenades and vary in price. They can be made with different kinds of pellets, including iron, silver, cold iron, and adamant. Shard gel. Basically, this stuff creates a bunch of crystal needles, dealing 1d4 piercing damage to target. In addition, the target and all adjacent squares are treated as if covered in caltrops. They last for 5 rounds. Shard gel is a DC 20 to craft, and will cost 8 gold, 3 silver. One of the most useful alchemic weapons is the Tanglefoot Bag. The range on a Tanglefoot Bag is 10 feet, and it is a touch attack. The target takes a -2 on attack rolls and a -4 to dexterity, and must make a DC 15 reflex or be glued to the floor for 2d4 rounds. Even if they succeed at the reflex save, their movement is halved. If it hits a flying creature who flies with wings, it must make a DC 15 reflex save or fall to the ground. Sadly, huge and larger creatures are not affected, so you won't be killing any gigantic elder dragons with it. Sorry. A glued creature can make a DC 17 strength check to break free, or deal 15 points of damage to the goo with a slashing weapon. One of the best ways to use a Tanglefoot Bag is a way to take out spellcasters. Anyone attempting to cast a spell covered in goo must succeed at a DC 15 plus spell level concentration check or lose the spell. Crafting a Tanglefoot Bag is a DC 25. It will cost you 16 gold, 6 silver. Next, Pheromone Arrow. If a target is struck with a Pheromone Arrow, creatures attacking it who have the Scent ability get +2 to attack and damage. This will last for 1 hour. Making a Pheromone Arrow is a DC 25 and will cost you 5 gold. If you have anyone in your party who has an animal companion, or a druid that transforms into something like a wolf or a bear, this is a great item to have. Next, the Slow Burn Arrow. This functions like a normal arrow for the first round, but on the next round it deals 1d6 fire damage. Slow Burn Arrow is a DC 25 to craft and will cost you 33 gold, 3 silver. Finally, there are Splintercloud Arrows. The target creature takes normal arrow damage, but creatures adjacent to it take 1d3 piercing damage as the arrow shatters. Making a Splintercloud Arrow is a DC 25 and will cost you 8 gold, 3 silver. Alright, number 1. You can use alchemy to craft creatures. First, there are some really awesome Alchemist discoveries, such as Bottled Ooze, Pickled Quasit, and Alchemic Zombie. But even a non-alchemist can get in on the fun, with things like Homunculus Clay. This lets you create a temporary homunculus. Making the little guy takes 1 round, and he'll last for 1 hour. In order to be the homunculus's master, you need to add 1 drop of blood to the clay. Making homunculus clay is a DC 30, and will cost you 250 gold. Finally, there is the Craft Ooze feat. This one has some prerequisites. You need Brew Potion, Craft Wondrous Item, Craft Alchemy 3 ranks, and you have to be a 5th level caster. You will also need an appropriate Ooze vat. These range in size from small to gargantuan. Oozes that you create are not loyal to you, mindless, and will probably try and eat you, and anyone else they can get. Anyway, crafting a gelatinous cube will cost you 1,600 gold, DC 16. Crafting a gray ooze is 3,600 gold, DC 18. Crafting black pudding will cost 8,100 gold and a DC 24. Finally, magma ooze is also 8,100 gold and a DC 24. Thank you for watching the D6 Damage Top 5 Uses for Alchemy in Pathfinder. Now, if you're interested in more character builds and class analysis for Pathfinder, check out D6 Damage right here on YouTube. And if you want to take your game to the next level, think about joining the D6 Damage Discord. We're always discussing gaming strategies, awesome character builds, and sharing funny stories from our Pathfinder and D&D experiences. Thank you for watching.